Okay, so just a little review of the open string chords that we learned last lesson. But here's what we're going to do that's going to make them more useful and just give us more variety in our songs and our progressions. We're going to take these chords here, we're going to change them ever so slightly to make different types of chords. So I want you to hear something just as a reference here. Take a look at this E chord right here. Okay, I'm holding an E major chord, and one of the most important notes in this chord is this note right here. Okay, that note is important because it's what defines the sound of the major quality of the chord. It's the major third of the chord. Okay, now what happens if I take that finger and I release it to the open G? Okay, you'll hear a distinctly different flavor of harmony. Doesn't it sound strongly different? Compare that to what we heard. Now listen to this. Okay, that chord can be described as minor, because that's exactly what that is. This is the major third of the chord, and this is the minor third of the chord. And we're going to talk about that in later lessons too, and what that exactly means. But suffice to say, this is a different harmonic structure. It's a darker quality sounding minor triad, in this case a minor triad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just erase this note, and we're going to now have not E major, but E minor. And now this note is also going to be available. Okay, so we have a minor chord now. It sounds like that. It's actually just letting one more string ring. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on some of these other chords. Okay, so let's take a look at this chord. Here's D major. I'm going to modify this one. And once again, I'm going to identify this note here by what it is. This is the major third of the chord. It's the third of the scale, and we want to make that a different kind of quality, and we're going to make it a minor third. So I'm going to bring this note down a half step, and we're going to get a different flavor of chord altogether. We're going to have a D minor chord. So that's a useful chord. So we have E minor and D minor now. Okay. Now I bet you can tell what I'm going to do on this next chord here. You're probably trying to look ahead and think, well, where's the third of this chord? Well, if you were looking at that note and you thought that was the third, you would be correct, because indeed it is the major third of the chord. So what do we want to do? To make it a minor third, we have to bring it down to this note right here. And now we have A minor. Okay, so we're finding that all these open string chords, with just a very small modification, can be minor chords too, right? Okay, let's go to the other shapes here. Now we're going to have to change these ones a little bit more than we did here, and I'll explain that. In both this chord and this chord, the major thirds are right here. Okay, so to make them minor quality chords involves a little bit more of a stretch than is comfortable to play in that position. So what we do is we move the thirds to a different string, a different place to put that minor third. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to play it like this. We're going to get rid of even the lowest note. We're just going to play it like this. We're going to play it simply like that. So the root could be played on the bottom if you want with your thumb, but essentially this is now a minor form of a G chord in this position. Okay. If you wanted to, you could even use your thumb, and you'd hear the quality with the lowest tonic on the bottom. But it's just too difficult to do this. Right? You can do it, but it's just awkward. So this is what we do. Okay. Now this chord, we'll have to do sort of the same thing. I'm not going to use the third here. We're actually going to move a little bit higher up to get a playable shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it like this. This is going to become minor simply by creating the minor third that we're now in this position, and the root is here. There's no. We're going to learn how to play this later with a different root here, but let's just say this is the main structure of the chord right here, and this will become our minor shape in this position. Okay, so that's going to sound like this. Okay, the root's available right here, but there's a root inside of the chord. So there's C minor and G minor. Okay, as well as the other ones that we've already learned. Okay, so we had 5 open string chords last lesson. Now we have 5 open string minor chords. 2 of them being not quite as open string, okay, you ready? But available in that same position. Okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and put these minor chords that we've just learned in some basic progressions to practice, just like we did last lesson. Okay, so you'll see behind me I have our progressions ready to go, and I've put the minor chords in them so you can practice along with me. Okay? And I've even added some picking directions on some of them. So let's practice over the Yamaha QY22 here, just for fun. So here we go. Let's just do a little strum with this one, just kind of a general strum. How about we do the E minor, A minor like this. Add a little 8th note rhythm. Okay, good. Okay, so that's kind of a good strum or a good progression, because pretty much you get all the notes that are available here on the E minor chord. The A minor chord, pretty much 5 notes are going to be good on the chord here. You just don't want to hit the low E string too much. Okay, but when we go to D minor, we're going to go between a 4-note chord here on that shape to a 4-note shape of G minor. Okay, so definitely on the G minor, you don't want to use the bottom strings here. That'll sound weird. So you don't want to have those notes ring. So once again, I suggest using my finger or your thumb to kind of deaden the bottom strings, okay? So back to our beatbox here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 8th notes. Okay, so that's our second progression. Let's move into progression number 3, where we utilize the C minor chord and the D minor chord and the G minor chord together. And all I'm asking you to do now is to pay attention to use downstrokes on the quarter notes here, and then upstrokes on the last 2 bars. So that's going to feel a little strange at first, because you're going to be very comfortable going. And then suddenly, you got to play upstrokes with your right hand. That might feel weird, but it's good practice. So let's see what that feels like. Here we go. 1, 2, downstrokes. Down, now up. Downstrokes, downstrokes, up. Okay, so that might not feel very natural, but it's good practice. Okay, so I want you to do that anyway. Down, and then even using upstrokes on all down beats. This is kind of a good practice. Okay, and once again, mute with your left hand, thumb to kill the bottom two strings. Okay, and then finally on progression number 4, I'm just showing you what we've already been utilizing, down and up strokes. I just wrote it out over the chords. Okay, so we'll go E minor, D minor, and A minor. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, E minor, D minor, A minor, E minor, D minor, A minor, E minor, D minor, A minor. One more time. Down, up, down, up. Okay, so there you have it. There was our lesson. We took all those open string chords that we learned last lesson and we turned them into minor chords. So we've actually got 10 chords altogether in our vocabulary of chords, which right away enables us to start writing tunes and playing in bands and getting famous. So there you have it. I'll see you next lesson. Thanks.